right, so now we're actually ready to talk about that mean, median, and mode I kind of hinted and alluded to before. The good news is most of these are the same thing that you learned back in elementary school and middle school. So we're just kind of a reminder of what you already know. I'm not changing anything up. Mode's probably the easiest, and you probably don't remember, but it's the first one that you learned way back when you were in elementary school. So the mode is the number that occurs most often. So if you see something repeated several times, whichever one repeats the most is the mode. Now the mode is special because it is the only one that you can have more than one answer. Everything else just has one median or one mean. Now the mode, you could have more than one mode, or you could have no mode at all. And that's only true for the mode, not true for the mean and the median. Next, you learn how to find the median, which is most simply put the middle value. So there's some steps to this one. We're going to put our numbers in order from smallest to largest. And from there, we're going to find the middle value. If the numbers are odd, it's really easy to find the middle because there's a middle. If the numbers are even, then we have to take the average of the two middle numbers. So we would add up the two middle numbers and divide by 2. And that kind of ties into the mean. The mean is when I add up all my values and divide by the total number. So for instance, we have 30 people in our class. So to find the class average, I add up everybody's exam grades and then divide by 30. So I'm going to do an example down here. First, we're going to find the mean of these numbers right here. So I added them all up, 26 plus 31 plus 46 plus 31 plus 26 plus 31 plus 48 plus 52 plus 56 plus 59. Type that in my calculator. It gave me 406. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 numbers. So I divided by 10. Now, for work that you're going to turn in like paper, pencil, tests and assignments that I'm going to grade by hand, I have to show that work. So that's why I put that must show right here. So I type that in my calculator. It gives me 40.6. Now for the median, I have to take these numbers and I have to put them in order. I know there are 10, so I can check myself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, I got them all. One little hint when you're writing them out, like this first 26, go and cross out the ones that you've used. That way you're less likely to forget a number, or maybe you can find it easier, like where it might need to go if you made a mistake. So there are 10 numbers. This is the harder method. This is the even numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then going this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 2 middle numbers. So I'm going to add those up and divide by 2. So adding up and dividing by 2, that gives me 38.5. It's also easiest to find the mode once we've got them all lined up here, or at least I think it is. So there are 331, so that's the mode. I know some other number repeat, like 26, but it's whichever one repeats the most. So there are more 31, so that's why the mode is 31. So I'm actually going to skip down here. I want you to kind of pause the video. Don't look at it, the screen, but pause the video and see if you can do example 3 down here real quick, and then I'll go over it. Right, so hopefully you've done it. I'm going to add up these 5 numbers and then divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kind of gave that away because I said 5 numbers. Remember, you must show the work. And it wanted me to round to the nearest hundredth place. That is 2 decimal places. So that gave me 6.78. To find the median, I'm going to put these numbers in order from smallest to largest. This one's the easier way. I think it's easier because there are odd numbers. There are 5's the odd number. So the way you learned way back in the day was you would cross out one from the bottom, one from the top, and you're left with 6.2. You also can think 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. So 1, 2, there we go. Either way you want to think about it. And if I look at this list, there is no mode. No number is repeated at all. So this one has no mode. All right, our last example is what's called a weighted mean because we're using this frequency distribution, kind of like a frequency distribution we did before. But this is like if I had a big long list of 43 numbers, I would have I want to type this. I don't want to write them all out. I would have 9 and the 9 and the 9. I would see 5 of these 9s. And then I would see a whole bunch of 11s, 10 of them. And it would just keep on going forever and ever. 43 numbers would be listed here. Well, I don't want to list 43 numbers. That would be a pain. Nor do I want to have to type 43 numbers in my calculator because I know I would mix up. Instead, I'm going to do what's called a weighted mean. So I'm going to take my value here, 9, and multiply it by 5 because there were 5 of them in that list that I just typed up. Then I would take 11, I would multiply by 10 because there were 10 of them in that list. This is actually what we do to calculate your grade. So some things are worth more. They have a higher frequency. For example, tests are worth a lot more than your homework or your quizzes that you complete in my math lab. So we multiply your tests by a certain percentage and then your homeworks and your quizzes by a different percentage because they're not worth as much. So it is a weighted mean. So I would do this for all my numbers. So 9 times 5, 11 times 10, 15 times 12, 17 times 9, 20 times 6, and 28 times 1. That's my whole numerator. I would type all of this in my calculator, and it gives me 636. Then I'm going to add up these frequencies, and that gave me 43. So that's what I'm going to put in my denominator. Again, if you're turning anything in by hand for me to grade, you have to show this step. Or one of these two steps, I should say. So then 636 divided by 43, it wants me, I'm going to read the directions really carefully with all these rounding things. The tenth is 1 decimal place, so 14.8.